The reigning CIF Division III state volleyball champs step into the spotlight tonight on CreaTV Sports. From main gym on the campus of Valley Christian High School in San Jose, the Warriors host the St. Francis Lancers of Mountain View in West Catholic Athletic League High School girls volleyball. Good evening, everyone. I'm Kirsten Fairchild alongside David Kiefer. St. Francis has had so much success over the years. Last year was a down season for the program, but with players like junior outside Carly Deal, the future is looking bright for the Lancers.
Well, when you think of St. Francis volleyball, you think of 9 state championships. So you know they're going to get some good young talent. The question is, will they be able to survive a trial by fire against the Warriors tonight?
Last year's state champs, the Valley Christian Warriors, the best in D3 programs in the state. Key members have graduated, but a few return, including the junior outside Ronica Stone, one of the best players in the country.
Yeah, she can go to just about any college she wants to. I think the question for the Warriors will be, who else can step up?
Absolutely. Every match matters when it comes to West Athletic League competition. Tonight is certainly a pivotal matchup. Up next, we've got the Lancers, the Warriors on CreaTV Sports.
CreaTV San Jose would like to thank Pacific Office Automation for their generous sponsorship of our coverage of high school sports. It's because of our sponsors that CreaTV San Jose is able to cover high school sports throughout the city of San Jose.
Main gym on the campus of Valley Christian in San Jose, California. Hello, everyone. Welcome to CreaTV Sports coverage of the West Catholic Athletic League High School Girls Volleyball, the second meeting, or the second match of the league season as St. Francis brings a 13-5 record in tonight's match. David, they're 1-0 with the win over St. Ignatius. Valley Christian 13-9 and 0-1 after losing to an exceptional Sacred Heart Cathedral game in 3.
Yeah, this is going to be a really strong league. We always know about the teams at the top, whether it's Mitty or St. Francis or Valley Christian, but it looks like from top to bottom this year, this is going to be extremely strong. A big surprise in the first week of the season was Notre Dame Belmont winning their first league game in several years, and they beat a real strong presentation team. So we're looking at a lot of fighting for every spot, throughout the league.
St. Francis starting lineup, the middle blockers, Amanda Saray, the 6'1" sophomore, and Kristen Bear, the 6'2" senior, who will be playing at Notre Dame next fall. The outside hitters, Bridget Canty, the 5'11" sophomore, and Carly Deal, the 6' junior outside hitter. We spoke about her in the open. Julia Devine, the freshman opposite at 6'2". The setter is Ava Gustafson, a 5'7" sophomore. We'll also see the junior, the 6' libero, Jenna Adams, out on the floor for St. Francis. This team is young, but has a very high volleyball IQ.
Well, there are no starters returning from last year's team, so they are starting from scratch as far as varsity experience-wise. They have about 3 players that had some experience last year, but still have a long way to go as far as what we expect to see. I think they're going to learn as they go along what they can do in this league and against the top competition. Valley, too, is young in a different way. They have several starters returning, but it is a little bit of a personality that they've lost with some of the seniors that have left.
Valley Christian starting at middle blocker, the 6'3" senior Ella Lejos. Also Rebecca Roth, the 6' sophomore. The outside Stone and Shalom Ifani Chukwu, the 6'1" junior. Transfer from Texas. This is her first match in a Valley Christian uniform tonight, and nobody is expecting to see her out on the floor. A big X factor for the Warriors. The opposite, Elena Bruckner, the 5'8" junior. The setter is the 5'9" sophomore, Tori Dilfer, and the libero, fellow sophomore, the 5'5", Megan Lee. Both teams wearing white uniforms, white tops. The Lancers colors are brown and gold. They are on the left side of your screen. Valley Christian, the home team. Colors are powder blue and navy blue. As St. Francis will serve first, and the Lancers look to their sophomore setter, Gustafson, for the serve. We're underway at Valley Christian High School. Dilfer setting out left. Left-handed swing, just too good from Bruckner, the junior, with her first kill. Side out Warriors.
Yeah, the first serve is right to Megan Lee, the sophomore libero. And I think they may test her a little bit, but came through right there.
Ifani Chukwu to serve. And it's a service error as the Lancers side out right back. Michael Rubin is the head coach of St. Francis in his first year coaching the girls. However, he has coached the boys team for 11 years. More on Coach Rubin as this match progresses. Deals for St. Francis, tied up at 1. Left-handed swing from the opposite is out. 2-1 St. Francis High School girls volleyball. They play sets. Best 3 out of 5. The first 4 would go to 25, win by 2, and just like in the collegiate game, if there is a deciding set 5, first to 15, win by 2. Bump set. Back row attack, dug by the Lancers. Libero has to set, that's tight. And into the net, called on St. Francis. Point Valley Christian, all knotted up at 2.
Well, that was the first hit we've seen from Ifani Chukwu. I'm going to have to practice that a few times tonight, but really, really strong strike for her, and I think she's going to really bear watching tonight.
Lee, the super soft libero, goes to work. Backs that right side attack, the block is there. It's Ronica Stone with the solo block. That is something head coach Jeff Kim in his 3rd year believes his team does well, blocking, putting the ball down on the floor as Valley Christian up 3-2. Second service error of the match for the Warriors. Side out St. Francis.
Well, you mentioned about Ronica Stone and her blocking. She's a middle blocker on her club team. Outside hitter here with Valley, so she can do a lot of things really well, and obviously blocking from her spot is going to be key for the Warriors.
Here comes Stone, punched through the hands of the libero, reversed over, free ball for the Warriors. Looking to break this 3-all tie. The opposite, dug by the Lancers, and then shanked on the second touch. Side out Valley Christian.
Yeah, Bruckner with 2 kills already. Bruckner is quite an athlete, a track star, shot putter, one of the best in the state, and she's got a lot of volleyball skills as well. She could work on her serving maybe a little bit, but
third Valley Christian service error, and just
well, so far they're kind of their own worst enemy. St. Francis hasn't had to earn too many points yet, and yet the Lancers already tie it up here 4-4.
Clara Geary in to serve, the 5'6" junior, all tied up at 4. Dilfer goes down, nobody home. Give the sophomore Dilfer a kill. Valley Christian out on top, 5-4.
Yeah, Dilfer, I'm sure she's going to be another player that we're going to talk about throughout the evening. She played as a freshman last year on their state championship team, Division III. Now she's got a full-time role, and she's already a really valuable key part of this team.
The Stone serve. St. Francis setter trying to keep it playable, and it's actually called Valley Christian into the net as the Lancers send back Bridget Canty, the 5'11" sophomore, to serve. Left side attack, hitting error, point St. Francis. So yeah. Valley Christian, a number of errors, hitting errors, service errors, perhaps a little nerves playing in front of their hometown crowd on such a pivotal night.
Well, the set really caught Ifani Chukwu in a bad body position that she really didn't have much of a chance on that attempt.
Stone behind the 10-foot line, doesn't matter. The solo block by the Lancers, Kristen Mayer, the senior, and St. Francis takes a 2-point edge.
Yeah, like we said, there's there's a lot of talent on this team. It's just very young, and so this is going to be an opportunity to see what they can do when the stakes are high.
Roll shot, punched up. Behind the 10-foot line, it's there. And the kill, Canty with the kill, and the biggest lead of the night. St. Francis up 8-5 in set number 1.
Nice little roll shot there, right to the perfect spot. Good awareness from the back.
First St. Francis service error as the Warriors side out. Just 5 players returning from last year's state championship Valley Christian team. One of them is serving now, as it's Ella Lejos. Great serve by Lejos. And you see the problems it creates in serve-receive. Point Warriors trailing by 1 at home to St. Francis Lancers of Mountain View.
Yeah, look at Lejos too. She's another player who looks like could go, big-time major college program.
She's going back top 12. More on her after this point. As it's Carly Deal from the left side, untouched. And yes, Ella Lejos, the 6'3" senior, will be playing at Washington State up in Pullman next year.
And I would think that Dilfer, only a sophomore, but she'll probably be a major college player at some point too. So you're looking right now on the floor at least 3 that will be going on to big-time programs at some.
Smart serve by Kristen Bear, the ace for St. Francis, the first of the match. 10-7 the Lancers lead.
And that's going to be key for St. Francis. Good serving, good defense. Do all the things that they can to offset the hitting and size advantage that Valley might have.
And the whistle blown by our referee number 1, the up referee, Leo Hermoso, who officiates volleyball at the state level. The referee tonight is Ron Benevente, and we're going to have a do-over here. And called long, perhaps a little too casual. Much closer.
I thought that was a pretty good serve right there, but judgment call.
Bruckner returns to the front row for the Warriors, down by 2 as Tori Dilfer, the sophomore setter, to serve. Chased down by the Lancers, reversed over. And the middle run, one of the rare times we've seen the middle run tonight, and recognize the setting ability of Dilfer.
Yeah, Rebecca Roth, sophomore. So we said, a lot of young talent here on the court. Sophomores, players that are getting some of their first opportunities in league play.
Chance to tie this set. Another free ball for the Warriors. Fani Chukwu dug. Left side attack. And an authoritative swing by Carly Deal.
And Deal is a player that obviously they're going to be looking to today for some big points.
I'm Kirsten Fairchilds alongside David Kiefer. We're live at Main Gym in San Jose Valley Christian High School as the Lancers of Mountain View serving 11-9. It's Gustafson, this setter, putting the ball in play. Right side attack. And Ifani Chukwu. Again, this is her first match of the year. She transferred from Texas. Head coach says he doesn't believe anyone knows anything about her. And that here she is playing tonight, and an untouched ace by Ifani Chukwu. Valley Christian fans are going to get to love her in a hurry. First ace of the match for the Warriors. First
kill and first ace back-to-back in a Valley Christian uniform.
We're all knotted up at 11, set number 1 in West Catholic Athletic League play. Shanked, make it 2 consecutive aces for Ifani Chukwu, and Mike Rubin's going to call a timeout to talk things over. The Warriors up on top of the Lancers 12-1 in set number 1.
Do you think that the rest of the WCAL is going to be taking notice after this match with this newcomer from Texas?
I would think you would have to. The Warriors having this weapon, and I'm sure unexpected. And Ifani Chukwu has already committed. She is a junior, but she will be going to Oregon State. So a Pac-12 player coming here as a junior. This is I'm sure a big surprise, at least for St. Francis tonight.
Well, we were talking about who can take the load off Veronica Stone, and it seems like the early indications are that Ifeanyi Chukwu can be that player. And this is going to be a huge advantage for Valley Christian when they do go up against the Sacred Heart Cathedrals and the Middies and the other teams that are expected to maybe be on top of the league this year.
6'1" junior, looking to add to her team's lead. 12-1 after the timeout. Running the quick is the Lancers, dug by Ifeanyi Chukwu. Here comes Stone, but the block this time by Dia. We've seen some good, effective blocking by St. Francis.
Yeah, and they're really strong so far. And again, that's going to be tough for them to know, who to slide the block toward, getting people to, be right in the face of these strong hitters.
Deals, all tied up at 12. Stone goes off speed, roll shot. The pancake is there. Dilfer setting Stone off the stack, and Stone goes full power, and it pays off with a kill.
Well, there was Veronica Stone at her best, and a great pancake dig by Jenna Adams. Or excuse me, was that was the libero? Excuse me. And
no, you got that right, Adams.
Yeah, that was Adams. Yeah.
As Lee, the Valley Christian libero, you see the shoot set attempt by Gustafson, but just too low as the Warriors jump out to a 2-point advantage. Megan Lee, playing in her first year of varsity, serves again. Shanked a bit, setter has to bump set. Right side attack, goes line, Lee is there. Ifeanyi Chukwu chases it down, free ball for the Lancers. Gustafson, left side attack, and too hot to handle from Bridget Canty.
I think that was deflected a little bit, so I think it was tough for Ifeanyi Chukwu to measure that in that short of a split second, but a nice hit nonetheless.
Adams to serve. Left side attack by Stone. Stone with the kill, and Coach Michael Rubin is upset. And I think his complaint is about the spectators addressing his players by their name. So I'm sure this will be attended to by the PA staff here at Valley Christian. As the Lancers show, they're able to focus, and they side out. And I think we're going to need to have an announcement here as a couple of substitutions being made.
Canty with the second kill of the night for her. You were talking about Jenna Adams, the hurdler, WCAL champion of the 300 hurdles. She's playing libero for St. Francis.
Lancers down by 1. Leos dug by Deal. Canty winds up again, and it pays off. All tied up at 15. This is a game, a match, a set of inches. Back and forth we go between these two well-matched teams.
Just because St. Francis is young doesn't mean they're not good, and they're showing it right now.
Aguirre, service error. Second of the match for the Lancers as Stone jogs back. She will serve her team up 16-15.
I believe that was the Valley Christian just took their first lead since it was 1-0.
Canty, setter has to travel. Free ball for the Warriors. Dilfer, setting Ifeanyi Chukwu. Dug. And no love from the back line for Carly Deal and company.
Sometimes, I've seen a lot of the taking a little bit off those hits for Valley. I'd like to see them just go hard and see what would happen.
I agree with you as Stone is serving. The block is there by Lejos, and the fans let her hear it as Mike Rubin calls his second time out. Valley Christian up 18-15 in set 1. big thanks to Pacific Office Automation for their sponsorship of this broadcast. Certainly appreciate their support and their support of CreaTV Sports. It is our pleasure and privilege to bring you high school sports on Channel 28 and, of course, online at CreaTV Sports. Kirsten Fairchild's alongside David Kiefer. David, Valley Christian up 18-15 in set number 1. Neither team really establishing any consistency with their offensive attack up to this point.
Yeah, but it looks like a little bit of momentum, starting to slide towards Valley Christian right now. It's kind of a key part of the match for St. Francis.
You see the adjustment in the air as Lejos keeps the ball playable. One-touch volleyball going on. Here comes Canty. The block there as Dilfer goes for the dump, but well read by Bear, point St. Francis.
But neither side really looked like they had anything in system. There was no real good body positioning on the hitting attempts, and so it looked like that was going to end up with something like that.
Another service error for St. Francis. 19-16, Lejos to serve. Gustafson setting back row. And that ball just took flight as Canty missing her mark.
Yeah, tough coming from the back row in that situation. She really wanted to unload on that one, but just mishit it.
Lejos serves again. Gustafson running the quick, and Bear off the block for the kill as Mike Rubin sends in Amanda Saray, the 6'1" sophomore. Saw some playing time, a little playing time last year.
I think you can count on one hand the players who played last year at all on the varsity, and it's not many.
As Bear headed to Notre Dame next year with the ace.
That's her second of the match.
Lancers within 2. Service error. 4th for the Lancers as Izzy Knox will replace Bear in the back row. Knox wearing number 2, a 5'5" senior defensive specialist, as the sophomore setter Dilfer back to serve, her team up 21-18 in the first set. Canty from behind the 10-foot line. Stone responds as well. Deal, dug by Lee, chased down by Dilfer. Free ball for the Lancers. Gustafson setting Deal, goes with the left hand. What a play! Longest point of the night. Ifani Chukwu in there for the kill. The most entertaining point of the night goes Valley Christian's way.
How about that cross-court hit by Ifani Chukwu? Just a spectacular shot, and she looked like she was in complete control.
Dilfer, who saw limited playing time last year, serves again. Valley Christian will take it. The Warriors 2 points away.
And obviously the momentum is completely in Valley Christian's favor right now.
Fourth service error for Valley Christian. The Lancers trailing by 4 as Jenny Kellogg, the 6'1" senior opposite, checks into the front row wearing number 13. And it's Gustafson back to serve the libero, Jenny Adams, being iced down. We'll keep an eye on her health as this match goes on, as the Lancers get a point back.
Yeah, Jenna is obviously a key part of this team, so we'll have to monitor her health, but it doesn't look like she's coming back anytime soon.
Lancers down by 3. Fani Chukwu with the tap, read by the Lancers. Lee with the dig. Dilfer back set to Afani Chukwu. Hitting error, and just like that, St. Francis within 2. The Valley Christian Warriors call their first time out of the match. Jeff Kim wants to talk it over. His team up 23-21 in set number 1 in West Catholic Athletic League High School Girls Volleyball. If you're enjoying this match, please check out our schedule by visiting the CreaTV Sports website, www.createtv.org.
Just when we keep thinking that we're able to, we're ready to write off St. Francis, they respond with a run. It's going to be awfully tough at this point, 23-21, but stranger things have happened.
Out of the timeout, Lee with the pass. Fani Chukwu from the left side. Set point. I think they might have been able to hear that down on Monterey Avenue.
Wow, that was incredible. The velocity on that hit was just incredible. How could you return something like that?
And it's a service error, still set point. St. Francis will look to deal to serve this 1-2 a time. Set point number 2 for St. Francis. Stone gets blocked. Chicken wing by Dilfer, keeps it alive. Gustafson out to Canty. Canty sharp angle. Set point number 3.
And that was all set up by that block from Jenny Kellogg that really stopped that great hitting attempt by Valley and got St. Francis back in at 24-23.
Chance to tie or first set win for Valley Christian. Canty goes off speed. Dilfer setting Stone. Led by Deal. Shoved over by the Lancers. Dilfer running the quick. The shoot set to Ronica Stone. Not the prettiest of finishes, but Valley Christian will take it a 25-23 victory. The Warriors are up 1-0 on West Catholic Athletic League foes, the St. Francis Lancers.
So I think what we're seeing so far is we're seeing what the Valley Christian offense is capable of. Some of the opportunities haven't been numerous. They haven't had a lot of great chances, but some really strong hitting by those 2 frontline girls.
0-0-1-2-8-8. We're going to take a short break and return with more action from Main Gym. You're watching CreaTV Sports coverage of West Catholic Athletic League play.
Invest in our community's voice and become a friend of CreaTV. Just pledge an ongoing monthly donation to CreaTV San Jose and we will do the rest. Your support allows CreaTV to provide thousands of San Jose students with digital media skills, help hundreds of San Jose nonprofits tell their stories and build capacity, and air thousands of community videos. To donate, visit creatvsj.org or call 408-295-8815.
Back to action and taking a look back at the first set.
I think we really saw some really good hitting on occasion from St. Francis, but they didn't really have a lot of opportunities for some really strong hitting. I think we saw Valley Christian really do what they were capable of. We've heard a lot about Ronica Stone, and we've also heard about Afeni Chukwu, the transfer from Texas. She had a couple hits that were just out of this world. That was a strong hit by St. Francis that kind of kept them in the first set. Some good blocking, some good play overall, but when it came down to it, it was really some of the hitting by the Warriors that were able to overcome some of the defensive issues that they had at times. Some good rallies, a couple of really good rallies, and we're seeing a lot about St. Francis. We're learning a lot about their young team. But Valley right now just looks too strong from a hitting standpoint, and it's going to be really tough for St. Francis defense to make up for that. But we'll see.
One thing I really noticed, David, is that both teams really need to get better with their all-court defense. We saw some nice blocking. We saw an occasional terrific dig, but the points were rather short. I think the longer points would really speak to St. Francis, and I just think these teams need a bit of time to learn how to play together. They're so vastly different from last year's 6 or however many they rotated in. It's really a different look for these two teams, and I'm sorry to report that it appears that the libero for St. Francis, Jenna Adams, the junior, appears to be done for the night. She is all bandaged up with ice on her right shoulder. I know she hit the floor hard a number of times tonight, but certainly sorry to see her out of contention, as now Izzy Knox is wearing the opposite jersey, if you will, signifying that she will be the libero for St. Francis. So an opportunity here for Knox, listed as a defensive specialist, the 5'5" senior. Also plays basketball for the Lancers, so a very good all-around athlete. As Valley Christian up 1-0. And it is the sophomore setter, Tori Dilfer, to serve first, left to right here at Main Gymnasium on the Valley Christian campus. Canty with the pass, bump set from Gustafson. Deal from the left side, Lee has the dig. Stone behind the 10-foot line. Knox sends it over, overpass, but then the hitting error by the Valley Christians, Rebecca Roth, and St. Francis sides out.
Yeah, that was, I think sometimes you mentioned about kind of the serve receive in the first set was not really that smooth. I think for both teams, you know, weren't really able to see the pass set spike that we, you know, in system that we'd like to see. That was a good block there. St. Francis is really getting away with some outstanding blocking.
The freshman opposite, Julia Devine, with the block as the Lancers take a 2-0 lead. Stone with the pass. Here comes Ifani Chukwu. Sharp angle, dug by Deal. Canty reverses it over. Free ball for the Warriors. Ifani Chukwu goes roll, and spear attempt by Devine. I feel like that's just a lack of moving your feet.
You know, one thing really quick while I'm thinking about it, Tori Dilfer had the set on that. She has a green ribbon in her hair, and that green ribbon is in honor of her late brother Trevin, whose favorite color was green. He passed away when he was young, and that is Tori's way to keep his memory alive.
And a hitting error by Kristen Bear as Valley Christian has even the set at 2 apiece. In fact, Trent Dilfer, of course, the ESPN analyst and former NFL player, a graduate of Aptos High School, and their stadium named after his son, Kevin Dilfer. Back set, Bruckner. They're going to say that didn't clear. 4 hits, 3-2, St. Francis leads.
And really quick, while we're mentioning what Valley Christian lost was 2 outstanding players, and one was Maddie Dilfer, Tori's older sister, who's playing at Notre Dame now. The other was Kirsten Mead. They played a 6-2 last year, with both of them helping diversify their hitting and also their setting. And they were 2 dynamic players that really were the heart and soul of that team. So even though they have some returning players now, it's the leadership is, I think, the part that's going to be developing for Valley Christian.
Mead over at Santa Clara University as Lee into serve, all tied up at 3. St. Francis goes to Canty down the line, and the one consistent threat has been Canty for St. Francis here in the early going.
I've got her for 5 kills. I may have missed 1 or 2, but it's just a great indication of how dominant she is from the hitting side for St. Francis. She's really their main threat by far tonight.
Their serve, a service error That is the 5th of the match for St. Francis, as Elena Bruckner, the 5'8" junior, will come off, and that'll bring in the captain, one of the captains, the 5'5" senior, Natalie Piccone, making her first appearance in the match. All knotted up in 4 at 4 apiece here in the second set. Service error from Valley. That is their 5th, as well as the Lancers look to check back in Aguirre as Aguirre jogs back to serve, and Devine has a seat. 5-4 St. Francis. Pass by Lee. Dilfer back set to Stone off kind of a modified slide, and that's one thing Valley Christian has not been able to do, is get Stone more involved in this match.
Yeah, she has some pretty high kill numbers in some other matches. 23 against Harker, 21 against Rockland, a couple other 20s against Menlo School and Los Altos. She's you know, looking to get those kind of numbers today.
Played. And problems in serve receive as Knox played that serve, and the Warriors take a 1-point advantage.
I don't know if we can underestimate how big a recruit that Ronica Stone is across the nation. I mean, she is like at the top of the list for, you know, among the nation in her class.
Canty uncorks, but the dig. Great court coverage by Valley Christian. Canty goes again. The block doesn't seal, and St. Francis has tied it up at 6.
And that was, like you mentioned, through a double block. Somehow she found a way through.
Dilfer goes dump. She's 2 for 3 on that tonight, as the Warriors ask for a towel. You know, and just talking a little bit more about Ronica Stone, David, she, when you think about it, here she is a junior, and she's considered one of the best 25 volleyball players in the nation, has not committed, has been taking trips, really looking at a number of Pac-12 schools. I think it's safe to mention she's looking at Cal, UW, Oregon, Arizona. As you mentioned, she really potentially has her pick, as another service error from the Warriors, 6th of the match.
Yeah, and you know, even last year as a sophomore, a college coach told me that, you know, this is a girl who's at the top of her class. This is a girl you have to watch out for. You know, and she was as good as she was last year. I think she was still more of a complementary player from a leadership standpoint to, say, Maddie Dilfer and Kirsten Mead. And that's, I think, the next stage in her development, I would think, is to become a leader and really become, you know, more than just a player, but really the heart and soul of the team.
Off the slide, great adjustment by Bear to keep that ball playable. And it's Bruckner with the left-hander swinging away from the right side for the kill. Coaches love that in an opposite, to have a left-handed opposite. You see how difficult that can be to handle. Bruckner displaying it perfectly.
Yeah, Bruckner's got she's got some hops for a shot putter. You don't expect that, but she really is a good athlete.
Dilfer serving 9-7, up 1-0, as the service errors are just creeping into this match. 7 of the match for Valley Christian as the Lancers sub out Aguirre, and it's the freshman Devine back into the front row. Gustafson serving. Ifani Chukwu, she's been silent in the second set, but not there as the block is wide. She jogs back to serve. Valley Christian up by 2.
You know, St. Francis, you wonder, well, we can talk about this more later, but just the tradition of the program.
Bear off the quick, pancake by Lee. St. Francis was ready to celebrate, and they look to the referee, Leo Hermoso, or referee number 1, who is going to confer with the linesperson.
St. Francis stopped playing, and they just assumed that it hit the floor.
as Coach Rubin looking at Coach Kim.
Coach Rubin, this is first year as a head coach. Oh, it's the St. Francis point. So
they're going to say not a true pancake, and the Lancers perhaps with a sigh of relief. Got to keep playing until that whistle blows. As the Lancers within one, and it is the junior outside hitter Carly Deal to serve. Dilfer keeps it playable. However, that set just not high enough for Rebecca Roth to swing away freely. And just like in set number 1, we're tied up at 10.
Just talking about Bridget Canty, the St. Francis top hitter tonight. She's from a sophomore class that is actually pretty strong. The freshman team last year tied for the WCL title, and it just seems to indicate that more of an indication about how talented this young group is.
There goes tip. Ifani Chukwu, after all that, as they might say in the sport of tennis, Mickey Mouse hitting. It is Ifani Chukwu taking matters into her own hot hand.
And from the back row, that was quite a strike.
11-10, Lee serving. Valley Christian up. Deal pushes it over. Running the quick. And it's Lejos with the kill. One thing Valley Christian or neither squad has really been able to do consistently is to launch the middle attack. That all starts with the pass as Mike Rubin calls a timeout. His team trailing 12-10 and 1-0.
Well, I was going to talk about the tradition of St. Francis, and when you think about Mike Rubin being in his first year, this is a program that doesn't change coaches very often. They've had Liahi Hall, former Stanford national championship player for 5 years. She won a state championship, led them to a state championship in 2010. Before that, it was Kim Oden for a number of years, winning a number of state championships. Before that, it was Dave Gamblin, who really kind of got the program going at the state level. And even before that, it goes back to Liz Santee, who was led the Lynbrook and Sacred Heart Prep programs to much success. So there's a great coaching tradition at St. Francis, and Mike Rubin is just kind of the next person in line.
Yeah, we were joking with him before the match, David, that even though he was an outside hitter with a tremendous vertical at UC Santa Cruz, not a former Stanford women's volleyball player, a different scenario for the St. Francis Lancers. 8th service error for Valley Christian as Bear back to serve, looking to tie up this second set. Ifani Chukwu with the pass. Dilfer has to bump set. Here comes Stone. Goes off speed. Lancers keep it alive. Canty reaches back, goes line. Punched up. Stone swings again. Great read by Deal in the back row. Deal behind the 10-foot line. Dug by Ifani Chukwu, but not retrievable. And Deal, she's, kind of having a bit of a quiet match. But you can get the sense this is her first year playing on the varsity squad. She as well has not elected where she might play at the collegiate level, but I know people are high on her. They are high on her talent. As Bear serves again, all tied up at 12. Stone, and that was potentially dangerous for Stone. And Valley Christian saying, why did you stop the play there? And I think they're going to say well, I'm not going to speculate here as the Lancers take a lead, 13-12. And a bit of miscommunication there. No, that's called a service error.
Well, the game's starting to get a little disjointed, it appears, and so somebody's got to grab some momentum and really get in the system a little bit.
Bruckner, and it was sheer power that got that ball. That's the difference between an ace and a service error. Elena Bruckner showing she went after that serve. It paid off.
We were talking about Carly Deal, and she's a player that they're really depending a lot to carry the workload, and I think this is a good test to see how she steps up in these types of situations for her team and leads them.
Canty too much on the bump as Bruckner, again, the 5'8" junior, she placed 4th at the CIF State Track and Field Meet, the only sophomore, I believe, to compete on that final day in the shot put event. Lee with the spear keeps it alive. Stone goes cross court, coming over. St. Francis playing a lot of pinball volleyball. Stone goes again, and the front line of St. Francis lost track of that ball as the Warriors beginning to edge away.
Yeah, and you can see Stone really get that wind up going on that hit, and there's a double block over there, but they didn't really stand a chance.
And Michael Rubin has to call another timeout. His team trailing 16-13 and down 1-0. You are watching West Catholic Athletic League Volleyball on CreaTV Sports. And a big thanks to our sponsor, the sponsor of tonight's broadcast, Pacific Office Automation. Thank you so much for your support of this broadcast and for high school sports in Santa Clara County, including the teams playing tonight here in West Catholic Athletic League play. Big thanks again to Pacific Office Automation. Alongside David Kiefer, I'm Kirsten Fairchilds. When it comes to West Catholic Athletic League Volleyball, all schools across the state of California that compete in volleyball and have goals and aspirations to make it to the CIF state tournament, there's probably a good chance they have run into a West Catholic Athletic League team over the years.
Well, you could almost say that, I'd say Division II and Division III at least will have a team from the West Catholic League probably playing in a state championship.
Bruckner serving 16-13. Deal behind the 10-foot line. Ifani Chukwu with the dig. Here comes Stone off the block. Coverage is there by Knox. Canty dug by Ifani Chukwu. They're going to say no. That ball touched the floor. Point Lancers.
Yeah, you could hear it hit the floor right when simultaneously as the dig was being made, but it definitely hit the floor.
Aguirre in to serve. Her team down by 2. Lancers have struggled to string points together. Off the slide, it's Stone. Knox with the spear. No one can catch up with it. That has worked very well tonight. Even though the set has been well off the net, Stone really has shown she understands what needs to be done no matter what kind of set she's dealt. Serving 17-14. Pass by Deal. Bump set. Canty, sharp angle. Ifani Chukwu reads it. Knox with the coverage. Here comes Canty. Goes off speed. Nobody home in the campfire circle. Point St. Francis.
And Canty, you know, she's I don't know if you can call her kind of a poacher. You know, she's opportunistic, I think might be the better term for it.
Little ball hawker?
Yeah, you know, but that's, you know, you don't have to be swinging and hitting it, you know, 50 miles an hour. You can be scoring points in a lot of different ways, and she's shown that she has the ability to do that.
Savvy and strong. Canty serves, her team down by 2. Dilfer goes dump once again. St. Francis caught unaware 3 out of 4 times as the Lancers check back in Gustafson, who had been out on that play. Lejos in to serve. Valley Christian up 1-0, 18-15. And Coach Jeff Kim has to be getting a little tired of these service errors. 9 through a set and about 2/3 here for his Warrior squad.
Well, you don't want to give more opportunities for St. Francis to stay in the match. You know, you stay in long enough and things like that might happen. Just quirky things that, you know, otherwise would not make a difference.
You have to call that an ace for Knox, as it's Jenny Kellogg, the 6'1" senior, checking into the front row. A chance to tie it for St. Francis. Ifani Chukwu. Another hitting error from her. The Lancers have tied up set number 2.
I think she was trying a little bit too hard that time, not really letting the game come to her.
Knox is just serving bullets here. And a hitting error, 19-18, the Lancers lead. Again, they have had difficulty stringing points together. Can they launch a run here late in the second set? Fanichuku. Her toughest set to handle is the one she delivers on and ties up the set.
Third time's the charm.
Bruckner checks into the front row. Dilfer back to serve. Again, big sister Maddie at Notre Dame, where she's already made a splash. Certainly not expected for those who admired her high school and club career. Canty unleashing. Dilfer punches it up. Fanichuku goes roll shot. Back set to Bruckner, and Bruckner has been money from the right side. Really a threat when she's in the front row.
You know, Dilfer, I think one other aspect of her lineage, we know about obviously her father, Trent, and her mother, Cassandra, was a swimmer at Fresno State, but also her aunt, Tegan Lynch, was a outstanding volleyball player at Aptos High and then at University of Colorado.
She's got athleticism in her blood. That is the 5th ace for the Warriors, up 21-19. Played by Canty. Deal goes line for the kill, and they're going to say it hit the antenna. Point Valley Christian. I'm not sure the Lancers, well, yep, they're going to make a substitution. I'm not sure Coach Rubin realizes that Dilfer is still serving. So
tough break, because that was just a micrometer away from being a really valuable point for St. Francis.
Silence in the gym. Knox with the pass, and it's just too difficult to handle for St. Francis.
And that's a 5-point run for Valley Christians, really allowed them to take command.
Gustafson has been on the bench. It is Hubbard setting. Fanichuku. I'm going to say that cleared. She goes line, and it's wide. The Lancers side out as Divine returns. And Gustafson as well. So it looks like St. Francis going to a 6-2. Amanda Hubbard is the other setter, the 5'11" junior. She's now jocked to the bench as Gustafson in to serve. The team trailing 23-20. An ace. So when you've gone from a 5-1 and you're that starting setter to a 6-2, a way to feel better about how things are going is to come on in and serve an ace. Dilfer, long way to travel, and Stone, what athleticism with the left hand. Deal says that's not a good enough defensive position. The Lancers within one.
A lot of confusion on the Valley Christian defense on that sequence.
They have to call a timeout. Coach Kim wants to talk it over, so let's stay right here and talk a little bit about this adjustment. When Valley Christian ran that 6-2 last year to perfection, it was to free up their two setters so they were available to hit. That's certainly one way of approaching the 6-2 offense. We're seeing St. Francis do that another way, which is that Gustafson comes into set when she's playing the back row, and it looks like the adjustment made by Coach Rubin here in the second set brings Hubbard in as the substitute.
Well, it's, you know, as in any game, it's a game of adjustments, and if they can find a weakness somehow, you know, in Valley Christian just switch things up enough to cause a little bit of confusion, then, you know, this is the time to do it. I mean, they can't let this set get away from them and fall behind 2-0.
Valley Christian won the first set 25-23. Remember, it took 3 set points for Valley to secure that. Lancers with a chance to tie it here. And it'll work. So coming in to serve 3 times, Gustafson with 2 aces, 5th of the match. We're all knotted up at 23 here in the second set. And you've got to love the effort by Gustafson. Set point Lancers.
Wow, look at that. Every serve has caused incredible amount of duress in the Valley Christian defense.
Making adjustments, and Coach Rubin directing his troops. Gustafson serving, it doesn't matter. And what an effort by the sophomore Ava Gustafson, coming off benched midway through, at least partially, as St. Francis changes from a 5-1 to a 6-2, comes off. What a serving performance.
What a turnaround.
St. Francis, the comeback kids here at Main Gym on the campus of Valley
That was
Christian.
completely against really the run of play, but that's just shows how valuable serving can be, because that completely changed the match. You know, it would have been 2-0 Valley Christian. All of a sudden the sets are even. St. Francis is back in the match, and that meant everything. Putting Gustafson in that situation and her effectiveness on each of those serves was incredible. I kept waiting for Valley Christian to figure her out, and they just did not. They were not able to do it.
And it looked like at the end that St. Francis was trying to make some adjustments, and Gustafson served anyways. And what a lot of confidence she has in her swing. We're even at 1 set apiece. This is the second match, the second night of matches for West Catholic Athletic League that features some of the best teams in the state of California, and often the best teams in the nation. Archbishop Mitty, which has won a record 10 state volleyball championships, ranked preseason by Max Preps in the top 25. Mitty ranked 6th. You have to keep your eye out on Sacred Heart Cathedral out of San Francisco, known so much for their girls volleyball program, really making a statement for volleyball earlier, and of course the prestige with these 2 programs, the defending state champs in Valley Christian. And once again, Valley Christian got off to a fairly good start in this set, but they didn't slam the door, David. They left the door open for the serving of Gustafson as we take a look back at the action here in set 2.
Yeah, you know, St. Francis got off to a pretty good start. They actually had a lead as late as 13-12, but then Valley started kind of coming back. You know, some good plays there by Bridget Canty, who's been really carrying the team offensively at St. Francis. But then Valley Christian kind of found a way. They were able to mount a lead of about 16-13 and kind of kept it a point or two and seemed to have the set in hand. Veronica Stone with a nice wind-up and a nice hit, and that seemed to point to the fact that Valley Christian was going to be on their way. But really, Gustafson changed the entire tenor of the match with her serving at the end of the set.
And obviously volleyball, a game of momentum swings. We saw it, Valley Christian going on the run to get within 2 at 23, and then Gustafson putting that team on her shoulders, on the hot hand, as we're all tied up at 1 set apiece. Kirsten Fairchild alongside David Kiefer. Thank you for joining us on this Tuesday evening. CreaTV Sports covers Santa Clara County sports. We've got volleyball for you this season, and of course we will return to the gridiron. Really looking forward to our football schedule coming up later this month, and of course into the month of November. Both teams wearing their white jerseys tonight. St. Francis Lancers out of Mountain View wearing the white with the brown numbers and black shorts. A little bit of the team yellow can be seen on the uniform, and then it's the white and navy blue of the Valley Christian Warriors. And St. Francis, I think this is a team that gets better as it plays. The more it plays, the more confidence the St. Francis team seems to at least display out on the court. And there's the woman of the moment, Ava Gustafsson, for St. Francis, and no surprise that she's serving first here in set number 3.
You know, she's another member of that sophomore class that's really been kind of the heart of this resurgence, I think, for St. Francis.
As our referee number 2, Ron Benevente, making sure the lineups are as they should be. And Gustafsson goes to work. Stone from the left side with the kill, and I think Valley Christian fans would like a heavy dose of Veronica Stone here in set number 3.
I think that was almost like, you know, the point where, okay, all right, let's get serious. And that was what Veronica Stone seemed to show on that play.
And an ace for the Warriors.
Megan Lee.
Bump set. Bear with the hit.
So, yeah, St. Francis. It's going to be interesting to see, but you know, Deal's a pretty good server as well. You know, if it's 2-1 now, these games, both sets have been close. You know, neither team's been able to really jump ahead.
Bruckner with the kill, a bit off speed for her. Down the line, pays off. Bruckner only playing in the front row, but certainly making the most of her time out on the floor as she's back to serve her team up 3-1. Deal behind the 10-foot line. They're going to say that was a pancake. Reversed over free ball for the Lancers. Running the shoot to Bear. Didn't have enough on it. Stone off speed. Knox with the dig. Back set. Lancers not taking advantage of these opportunities. Ifani Chukwu with the dig. Behind the 10-foot line, roll shot, campfire circle, open. Lancers had so many opportunities to end the point.
And some of them were really in the flow of the offense, which is amazing. A great dig by Megan Lee saved one of them from Deal and kept the point going, and the Warriors were able to take advantage.
Bruckner serves again. Gustafsson keeps it playable. Canty goes with the left hand, and it works out for Canty. A little off speed with the left hand, catching Valley Christian unawares.
Nice effort by Bruckner to try to dig that ball.
And a couple of players who have yet to have played in the match, including Sophie Green, the 5'8" junior outside hitter wearing number 4 in to serve. Her team down 4-2. Off the slide, it's Stone. That's just been too effective. St. Francis needs to get a block up. Also into the front row for the Lancers, number 10, Dagny Duncan, the 5'11" junior middle blocker.
That was one of the few times where you've seen it just work exactly as designed. You know, we've seen a lot of stuff that's been impromptu, but that one was perfectly designed.
And then Stone with the ace. And David, I think you made a terrific point. Although she certainly was effective as a player last year. In fact, she was the player of the match after the CCS championship win, not her senior counterparts or her senior teammates. And more on that thought after this point. Ifani Chukwu with the pass. Dilfer goes dump. This time a little flick of her wrist. And Michael Rubin, his team trailing by 5. 7-2, we're all even at one set apiece, and just following along that line, Stone certainly made her presence felt during matches, but when you have two setters in a 6-2 offense who are incredible players, D1 potential players like Meade and Dilfer, of course you're not asked to take a leadership role as a sophomore, but with her in pedigree and resume, a lot expected of Veronica Sten this year.
Right, and it's going to be, it's one thing to be a great player, but it's another thing to be a great leader, and I would think that this is her opportunity to really become that. I mean, this is essentially her team, and I imagine that Tori Dilfer provides a lot of that as well, just from her background and her experience as a freshman on the team last year and all that. And I think that's one thing about Tori too, is that she has a really good sense of when to go off speed or do something unusual that really catches the defense off guard. She has a pretty good court vision.
Ifeanyi Chukwu from the left side. Block is there. And just a miscommunication there from Dilfer and Lejos. We really haven't seen the middle attack working too consistently for Valley Christian as the Lancers side out and Aguirre in to serve. Hitting error as the Lancers beginning to chip away at this deficit.
And that's kind of something that's been the theme this entire match, is the Lancers chipping away when Valley Christian each time has looked like they're about to run away with a set.
Lee with the dig. Stone has to reach up. Gustafsson is there. What a set by Knox, the libero. Ifeanyi Chukwu. Knox reads it. Deal. Ifeanyi Chukwu goes line, but it's wide. Point Lancers, and you got to hand it to the senior Izzy Knox coming in off the bench to play libero. And she's certainly showing she's got all kinds of game.
Yeah, she's been very effective. And I think that's kind of one of the things that's, like you said, keeping the Lancers in it.
Gustafsson setting Canty. Not a better set. Tight set. Canty times it perfectly. And the Lancers are indeed chipping away. So much so that Jeff Kim calls a timeout. His team squandering much of its lead. Just a 7-6 lead here in this pivotal set number 3.
Yeah, I mean, 4 consecutive points by St. Francis. And like we said, that's every time Valley Christian is kind of puts together a 3-4 point lead, St. Francis always seems to come back. Just incredible grit by the Lancers.
Big thanks to the sponsor of this broadcast, Pacific Office Automation. Thank you so much for your support of CreaTV Sports and athletics here in Santa Clara County. Thank you so much, Pacific Office Automation. I'm Kirsten Fairchild alongside David Kiefer. Thank you so much for joining us on this Tuesday evening as West Catholic Athletic League steps into the spotlight. St. Francis, young team. Valley Christian, a young team, certainly with talented players on both rosters. As Aguirre, the junior, serving for St. Francis, a chance to tie up this third set. Lee shanks it. Run down, reversed over. Free ball for the Lancers. Running the quick, but set not high enough for Duncan.
I was going to mention the fact that in the West Catholic League, this is really a big match. I think especially for Valley Christian, they lost their opener to Sacred Heart Cathedral. St. Francis won their opener over St. Ignatius. So conceivably, if St. Francis pulls this out, it's St. Francis 2-0 in league, and Valley Christian is in an 0-2 hole right off the bat for the defending state champs and league champs.
Ifeanyi Chukwu. And that is called good. As Valley Christian up 9-6. Excellent point, David. I think when you're, it's difficult to use the word rebuilding when you're talking about these two programs, but certainly a new cast of characters, if you will, as Lejos with the serve. That is the 7th of the match, or pardon me, that is the 8th of the match for Valley Christian. Coming over on the overpass, Lejos speared, but St. Francis with the point and the side out.
You know, this kind of gauntlet of league play. You know, Valley Christian with St. Francis in their next 3 games has, or next 2 matches has presentation and then midi.
It's a tough go. Ifani Chukwu goes line, read by Aguirre. Canty shoves it over. And just the one critique of actually, no matter which setter, as St. Francis appears to be sticking with Gustafsson at setter here in the set number 3. The middle, there's just been a lot of miscues trying to run the middle attack. Knox, another bright spot, but she can't get off the floor and out of the way. Point, Valley Christian.
You know, Valley Christian also, they have midi in their next match, so you know, again, this is really a match they cannot afford to lose.
Canty behind the 10-foot line, roll shot. Collision between Lee and Stone, both get up, but unplayable. So a dip in the energy, a dip in concentration and focus on both sides of the floor as Valley Christian sends Knox back to serve, checks back in the senior Bear into the front row. Good pass by Lee. Ifani Chukwu, when she's good, she's oh so very good, David Kiefer.
Yeah, you know, we've seen glimpses of this incredible hitting ability that she has, and I think, you know, when you mentioned kind of the teamwork and the cohesiveness, that's the part that seems to be lacking a little bit with Valley Christian, and especially I'm sure with a new player in, that's even more apparent.
Coming over. Knox bump sets. Canty sends it over, free ball. Great spot by Canty, and it's a hitting error for Valley. So we're seeing when play is breaking down, the teams are having a difficult time adjusting to the volleyball breaking down on the floor.
Yeah, it seems like they're not being able to create something out of nothing, which a lot of, you know, for great teams, that's what you have to be able to do.
Stone just gets roofed by Bear and Devine, a senior and a freshman, combining for the wall of pain.
That's so dramatic. But this match is dramatic. It's 12-11 in the 3rd set.
Lancers with a chance to tie it. Dilfer and Bruckner was looking for something else, and St. Francis has tied it.
Again, you know, the communication, just execution just a little bit off, just not efficient for Valley.
Pass by Lee. Bruckner. She just brings a different kind of pace and heaviness to the swing that St. Francis is unused to seeing.
You know, speaking of efficiency, it seems like every time Bruckner has an opportunity, she puts it away.
Valley up 13-12, set number 3. They claimed set 1, 25-23. Same score for St. Francis, set number 2. Tight set. Ifani Chukwu, roll shot. And again, when the point seems to break down, when these teams go for 1-touch or 2-touch volleyball, not the traditional bump set and hit. It's one thing I think will improve as the season goes on. Dilfer setting Stone. Deal mishandles her swing, and Valley with the side out. So the fans looking, I think, for a chance to get into this set number 3, but as often is the case, a bit of a lull. Perhaps Bruckner can fire them up with her serving. Good overhead pass by Deal. Free ball for the Warriors. Dilfer. And it is Lejos with a rare opportunity for a swing just as she'd like it, and it results in a kill. That should come as no surprise.
Just talk about the momentum. Neither team is really able to establish any kind of momentum. I think that's what's going to decide this match, is really who can run some points together.
Canty from the left side. She's been quiet in set number 3. No more.
It's her 11th kill of the night. Definitely carrying the team. I don't know if there's anybody else that has more than, say, 2 or 3 on the Lancer team.
Kellogg checks into the front row as Green in to serve for St. Francis. Down by 1 in set number 3 as the Valley fans take up the champ. An ace.
Again, the communication not quite there with Valley, although excellent serve. A lot of velocity by Green.
Very flat. Lee and Dilfer has to dump. Chicken wing from Lejos, but it's wide. They're going to call her on double contact as well.
Never got over the net.
In the lead.
Yeah, never got over the net on the first try. And now, yeah, St. Francis back in front after trailing by 5 earlier on in this set.
Setter really has to travel. Here comes Lejos. Goes off speed. Green with the dig. Right side attack. Lee with the dig. Stone has to reach back. Gustafson setting Canty. Canty goes line. And Valley Christian, as Piccone, just unaware that set was in her vicinity.
And we're seeing a lot of that with Valley. Again, this is things that are, I'm sure, going to work themselves out over the course of the season, but right now they're really hurting them.
As Stone, a little bit of a touch for the kill as Knox returns the Librero for St. Francis. Valley trailing by 1 at home. Second West Catholic Athletic League match of the season. Canty. Sharp angle, cut shot for the kill.
Real sense of purpose. That's what I feel when every time Canty comes up to hit. She seems to really know exactly what she's trying to do every time she goes up, and I don't sense that with some of the other players, the other hitters involved in the match all the time.
Hubbard in to serve. Off the slide, it's Lejos with a bit of a knuckleballer. Here comes Canty, and a little too much from Canty. I think she does better when she's swinging away freely as Valley Christian sides out. Roth returns to the front row for the Warriors, looking to tie up set 3. We're all tied up at 1 set apiece. Canty. And this time a little more authoritatively. I saw a touch.
I thought there was one as well, but the referee did not.
The Warriors have indeed tied up this 3rd set. And steals again. Good spear by Gustafson to keep it alive. Stone behind the 10-foot line. Bump set from Gustafson. Here comes Canty. Stone. They're saying in there. St. Francis looking at the spot.
There was a big hole there on the left side of that defense that Stone just couldn't help but put the ball to.
Mike Rubin, is his first year as the St. Francis girls coach, calls a timeout. He's in his 11th year as the boys coach. CCS has won 2 volleyball titles. As far as the boys team is concerned, as you mentioned, a pretty significant 9 state titles for girls volleyball. And for Valley Christian, the defending D3 state champs, last year's victory, a 3-set victory for Valley last year in the championship match. The first state title in any sport for the school. In some ways, it's a little difficult to believe.
Yeah, and you know, probably just as impressive is the fact that that Valley tied for the league championship, and they had a victory over Mitty, which Mitty was in a different division, so they did not have to face each other in the state tournament. You'd almost say that the West Catholic League, winning the West Catholic League, is maybe as difficult as winning a state championship, if not more so.
Valley beating Central Valley Christian in 3 in that state championship. They were the round robin league championships. These teams only meet once. They have a league tournament, and Mitty won that. As out of the timeout, Valley serving 19-18, and Leos delivers an ace. As the 9th of the match, a number of these aces, frankly, are coming because the back rows of the respective teams are not making adjustments or moving their feet, as was the case. Not to take anything away from Leos, the host, who's been a bright spot with their serve here in this 3rd set. Ifani Chukwu, read by Knox. Canty, Dilfer sends it over. Gustafson back to Canty. Here comes Stone behind the 10-foot line, and hitting error by Stone. Point Lancers. Canty really has been the workhorse for the St. Francis offense, but I would think you'd like to see some of the other players, the other hitters, getting more involved. She's back to serve. Perhaps we'll see that now. And it's an ace from Canty. 8th of the match for the Lancers, and a chance to tie it for the sophomore, Bridget Canty, the 5'11" outside hitter. Again, Dilfer really has to travel. Ifani Chukwu, this time Knox can't adjust, and the Warriors side out.
Well, this was coming into this final stretch here. St. Francis actually had a lead. This is the first set in which that had happened, where they were up 18-17. All the other times they've had to come from behind, or at least attempt to at the very end. So it was interesting to see how they would handle that. And again, it's hard to judge because they're just both teams just going back and forth.
The Dilfer serve. Unbelievable pass from Knox. Shoved over by Canty. Bruckner has to go with the right hand. Punched up by St. Francis. Canty unloads. Dilfer is there. Ifani Chukwu. Top spin, brings the ball down on the floor. Her bench loves it. Valley Christian up by 2.
Again, what an amazing hitter she can be. It's really an incredible weapon that Valley Christian's discovered.
Gustafson. And a kill for Jenny Kellogg. Side out Lancers. As Bear checks back into the front row, Knox back to serve.
And St. Francis just won't go away.
Pass by Lee. Ifani Chukwu with an exclamation point. 23-21 Valley.
What do you call that, a crater? I don't know, is that a crater that she created?
I hope not. Someone might trip in it. Off speed. Ifani Chukwu. Block is there. Great adjustment. But Bear with the left, she has the right hand, then the left hand. She's like a windshield wiper up there.
Incredible block, especially with the velocity that she had to face on that hit, and then to turn around and get the point, because Valley just did not expect the ball to come back over the net that quickly.
Gustafson with a chance to tie it. Bruckner. And Gustafson can't get her arm out of the way. Set point for Valley Christian.
Bruckner again, always coming up big.
Megan Lee, the sophomore, leads the league in digs. And she serves an ace. 25-22. Valley Christian takes another competitive set. They lead it 2-1. David Kiefer, I think the quality of the play dropped during that set number 3, as can often be the case, concentration lulls, etc. But we've got a match here in West Catholic Athletic League play.
Yeah, and I think, you know, the hitting there of Ifechuku, if I got that right, or close to it, she was the one who carried Valley Christian on that last stretch. And in each set, we're looking at an individual that really is becoming the difference maker. And for Valley Christian, she definitely was in that set. And that was a crucial set, too, to put the Warriors up 2-1.
Yeah, I think we've seen different players step up, but one thing this match really seems to be lacking, and volleyball always starts with a pass. Consistent passing and, frankly, consistent setting. I feel the setters are doing a good job, but a lot of the sets are too far off the net. You want a player like Stone, even Canty, to be very close to the net when they're swinging away. Well, we've got a good one for you here. Main gym on the campus of Valley Christian, West Catholic Athletic League girls volleyball. The home team Warriors with a 2-1 advantage. Set number 4 up next on CreaTV Sports.
CreaTV San Jose would like to thank Pacific Office Automation for their generous sponsorship of our coverage of high school sports. It's because of our sponsors that CreaTV San Jose is able to cover high school sports throughout the city of San Jose.
Welcome back to Valley Christian High School. The Warriors, after dropping set number 2, came out strong here at the start of set number 3.
Yeah, Valley Christian would take a 7-2 lead, and seemed like maybe this would be the one where they would break away and really create kind of a little bit of a mismatch, but that never happened. St. Francis just kept coming back, and to the point where they eventually would take the lead. Ifani Chukwu with a huge hit, or that was, it might have been Ronica Stone on that one. She had a huge hit later on, and then a big serve by Megan Lee that helped turn for the set point and helped turn the match now back in Valley Christian's favor, 2-1.
Every team wants to be tough when they're playing at home. A number of the crowd actually has dispersed. A lot of activities going on here at Valley Christian tonight. Walking up, so many sports just ending their practices, and very competitive freshman and junior varsity match actually delayed the start of this match. But right now the Warriors with the 2-1 lead, and we'll see if they can hang on here for the 4-set victory. This would be their first league win of the season. In their opener, they dropped a 3-set match to Sacred Heart Cathedral of San Francisco. And again, not sure exactly you would categorize the Fightin' Irish of Sacred Heart Cathedral a dark horse at this point. They did lose to Valley in the CCS championship last year, but it was a very competitive match. But I think with Mitty ranked number 6 in the nation, got to keep your eye on Sacred Heart Cathedral, perhaps playing the spoiler in this Catholic Athletic League.
Well, they've been a really strong program for maybe probably since maybe the early 90s. Probably a good 20 years, and they've always, but still they've always been kind of in the shadow of the Middies and the St. Francis's, and Valley Christian kind of emerged from that shadow. Valley Christian, I believe 3 years ago, was winless.
That's right. They were winless in league.
And then to turn that around and to win a state championship was pretty spectacular. It shows that it can be done.
Both coaches on their feet as Shalom Ivani Chukwu get things underway for Valley Christian. Stone with the block, read by St. Francis. Deal, dug by Bruckner. Bruckner bumps over, free ball for the Lancers. Deal still goes cross court. Ivani Chukwu dug by Knox. Free ball for the Warriors. Stone.
They really set that slide up perfectly because I don't think St. Francis was expecting Stone to be in that position, and just really were caught off guard.
Future Oregon State Beaver continues to serve. Where is Ronica Stone going to go? She has not committed as back-to-back winning points by Stone. Her fellow junior, Ifeanyi Chukwu, again, she will play Pac-12 volleyball up at Oregon State. And she delivers a service error, and the Lancers send Knox back to serve their first points of the fourth set. Overhead pass. Dilfer back set to Bruckner. Bruckner has shown she comes out after she serves. She has shown she can pass the ball very well. I wouldn't be surprised if she's really pushing for playing all the way around here. She is a spark plug out on the floor as Lee into serve. Valley up 3-1.
Well, she's listed as 5'8". I don't know if she's quite that tall or not, but she plays taller. You can see the strength in her legs, and she really gets some good lift off just that strength. And she plays a lot taller than her size might indicate.
Gustafson to serve, a chance to tie it at 3. And it's Lejos with the kill. St. Francis has been serving at Ifeanyi Chukwu a lot tonight. I'm not so sure if it's because they detect a weakness there or they just don't know her because this is her first match playing at a high school in the state of California. Bruckner serving, Valley up 4-2. And it's Bear as the Lancers able to run the middle and take advantage of the talents of Bear.
Well, it may also be that Valley Christian may not know what they're getting. If the serve receive is going straight to Ifeanyi Chukwu. So there's that part of it as well.
Deal serves. Ifeanyi Chukwu. Canty goes off speed. Stone has to adjust, and she does it very well. Point, Valley Christian. Great hang time.
Yeah, we were talking about, points not in system and how difficult it's been for Valley Christian to manufacture those. That was maybe a case where it did work.
Some miscommunication issues, but St. Francis pulls off serve receive. Here comes Lejos, however, and nobody moves for the Lancers. Deer in the headlights as Ella Lejos really off to a great start here in set number 4.
And with different players taking over at different stages of the match, perhaps this is Lejos that is kind of asserting herself at this point.
Canty. The block has not sealed a number of times. Canty goes right into it, and it pays off.
That's 13 kills for Canty, which would make her the leader in the match so far. Stone has 10. Ifeanyi Chukwu also has 10.
Jake Gillespie wearing number 11 for Valley Christian checks into the match for the first time.
And Green with those real flat serves, which can be effective, but at that time it was right into the net.
Served by Lejos, and as often is the case, service errors are contagious. 11th of the match for Valley Christian, up by 2 and 2 sets to 1, and 3 service errors in a row as Tori Dilfer heads back to stop the slide, if you will. The 5'9" sophomore, the floor captain on this Warriors squad. Stone. Deal with the dig. Great pass, and Gustafson goes dump, but it's wide. Her first attempt tonight. Too bad. That was a terrific pass by Deal. And Mike Rubin calls a timeout. His team trailing 9-5 and 2-1.
Well, if history's any indication, the Lancers will come back. They've been in this position before, although it's certainly not one that makes it easy for anybody. Valley Christian's led in every single set, often by 3, 4, even 5 points, and it hasn't always meant much down the stretch.
I'm Kirsten Fairchild alongside David Kiefer. If you're enjoying this broadcast, please visit www.creatvsj.org to check out our schedule and meet our staff, and a lot of great information about CreaTV San Jose on our website, including, of course, our upcoming schedule, www.creatvsj.org.
You know, it's been 4 years since St. Francis won a state championship. That's a drought in St. Francis history there. You know, that's really kind of a long time for that school and that program to go that long. Not that that's any kind of a failure by any stretch of the imagination, but it just goes to show how high the standards have been over the past 20 years or so.
And despite calling a timeout, Valley comes out with its 11th ace. And St. Francis is going to go to the bench as Kellogg checks into the front row. Hubbard in. That means Gustafson will have a seat as Hubbard in to set. Lancers trailing by 5, and certainly want to keep Valley Christian from pulling away here in the 4th set and securing this match. And great approach by Kellogg, the senior, leans into that set. Great swing, great finish, and St. Francis sides out. Canty back to serve.
And that's what St. Francis needs more of. They need somebody besides Canty to provide the offensive attack.
Stone with the pass. Onichuku with the kill as Deal can't seal. And Ifanichuku back to serve. Called long. Going back a little to Elena Bruckner, the junior right side, who's in the front row, in my campaign to potentially have Coach Kim play her all the way around. A little more on that after this. That's a pinball wizard. Stone mistimes it, but it doesn't matter. One thing I think about Bruckner is she really seems to be enjoying herself. I mean, she seems so happy to be playing volleyball, and I think that kind of energy is infectious. And Valley dips a little when she's on the bench. Biggest lead of the night for Valley Christian. Deal goes line, punched up by Dilfer. Dilfer reverses over. Off the slide, and it's Saray, who started this match and then has had limited playing time until this set as Bear replaces her in the front row. Saray with emphasis.
You know, and talk about Bruckner, and I think she plays like somebody who feels like there's no expectations on her. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but I think she is in that kind of role where, maybe they don't depend on her, so everything she gives them is a bonus, and maybe that can make the difference in a match.
Lee serving, Valley Christian up 14-7 after the St. Francis service error. And hits the antenna. 8-point lead for Valley Christian as Coach Michael Ruman has to call a timeout.
And this is the biggest difference of any of the scores throughout the match.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like St. Francis, is still obviously working on some things. They're changing personnel quite frequently, oftentimes in the same rotation, and that kind of team chemistry and that gelling just isn't happening right now in set number 4, his team trailing 15-7. A big thanks to our sponsor this evening, Pacific Office Automation. Thank you so much for your support of this broadcast and for athletics in Santa Clara County. We certainly appreciate your support, Pacific Office Automation. I'm Kirsten Fairchild alongside David Kiefer. We're really looking forward to the fall season on CreaTV Sports, high school girls volleyball, and of course, football. We will be broadcasting on CreaTV Sports. Make sure you check our schedule as Lee continues to serve for Valley Christian. St. Francis looking to stop the slide. Deals, keeps on her feet. Stone goes off speed. St. Francis, a little bit of a forehand, and Stone says, anything you can do at this point, right at this moment, I can do better.
Well, Stone's really becoming kind of the difference maker as this match is developed, this set is developed.
9-point lead for the Warriors. Bear goes off speed, works out for her. St. Francis finally gets out of the rotation, sides out. Stone, you have to remember, she plays, of course, for the Vision Volleyball Club, one of the premier clubs here in California. She plays middle blocker. She's played middle blocker for Valley this year. They've moved her to outside. It's a new role for her as well. Lee bump sets. Here's Stone from the left side, goes off speed. St. Francis needs to get some points together. Can they do it here? Ifani Chukwu. And when she shortens up that approach and shortens up that swing, I would think it's very difficult to read for the team on the opposite side of the net.
Yeah, it seems like she's more in control when she does that. Because sometimes it's appeared like she's trying a little bit too hard, but then when she's nice and compact, then she's does the most damage.
Stone off the slide, almost taken off the head of Knox, and that slide has just gotten better and better. The sets are getting better from Dilfer, and Stone's taking advantage. Bear. Again, St. Francis has not been able to run the middle a lot, but Bear is certainly a bright spot in the St. Francis offense. You'd like to see them be able to utilize her a little more.
Yeah, and she is one of the few seniors on this team, her and Knox, Stephanie Carlson, Jenny Kellogg, and you want to see the seniors be some of the people that are carrying the team a little bit more.
Deal, the junior swings away, hitting error, side out Warriors. Gillespie checked into the Warriors back row.
I'm going to make a quick point about high school and club. You talk about Ronica Stone and her role with Vision. I think a lot of times, especially maybe in some other sports like soccer or something like that, there's less of an emphasis on the high school aspect of it, and maybe they look at playing in the high school teams as weaker or something that's going to hurt them in some way. But I think in this case, and in many other cases, you see the player play different roles on the high school team that creates maybe more of a dimension in their game. For instance, if Stone is a middle blocker and here she plays outside, so she's improving her outside hitting and she's improving her leadership and she's improving other aspects. It's making her more well-rounded, and maybe somebody that's going to be even more effective in college or beyond.
That's an excellent point. As St. Francis checks in Sophie Green, Lancers trailing by 9. Green has that flat serve. A little bit more of a spin on that attempt. Here comes Ifani Chukwu. The block is there. Stone behind the 10-foot line. Again, that's set a little too low for the middle as Dilfer gone to the well too often. Canty, who's been quiet here in the set number 4. Ifani Chukwu is not quiet, but that is a hitting error. point, St. Francis. The Lancers have brought a 3-match win streak into this match tonight. They are in danger of being ousted in 4 unless they can string some points together here. All sorts of problems for Valley Christian, but they get the ball over the net. Canty Stone, what a dig. Free ball for the Lancers. And a better set for the middle as Saray with the kill.
I think Michael Rubin is really trying to find out what he has. And, you know, he talked earlier to us before the match just about, you know, how young the team is and wondering how they were going to react to playing a veteran, for the most part, Valley Christian team. And I think at times he's been pretty happy with it, but then, you know, you see these other parts of the game where, you know, they're really lacking in some other areas, and which is understandable for a young team, but I think he's discovering things along the way that is going to make them more streamlined and effective down the stretch in the WCL play.
Lejos with the kill. She's back to serve for Valley Christian, up 20-12. Too much off speed from St. Francis tonight, but it works out for Ifani Chukwu. Jeff Kim, the head coach of Valley Christian in his 3rd year, and teaches physical education at the school, as Mike Rubin, also a teacher at St. Francis, and Coach Kim was an outside hitter at Branham High School before going down to play in La Jolla at UC San Diego. And Valley Christian really rolling in set number 4.
And I think this is one of the tests for the young team. St. Francis looks like they're just kind of, I don't say giving up, but they definitely have lost that edge. And I think this is something that Coach Rubin will probably talk to the team about.
St. Francis keeping the ball alive. Ifani Chukwu, dug by Knox. Canty goes sharp angle, and it's in there for the kill. Side out Lancers. This Valley Christian School established in 1956. As the Lancers bring in Hubbard to serve and set. Trailing 22-13, 3 points away from going home with a loss. Rolling on the net. A lot of disjointed play on both sides. Good rundown by Lee, not enough. And a hard-earned point by the Lancers.
You know, Bridget Canty is, for St. Francis, she's got 14 kills. And I think that's going to be one of the real bright spots for this team this year is her play.
Hitting error by Valley Christian as Coach Kim thinking about calling a timeout. He does. Timeout on the floor. Valley Christian up 22-15, but St. Francis racking up a few points here. And Michael Rubin, the head coach of St. Francis, assisted by Evan Passion, as well as Megan Douglas. And one thing is Megan Douglas with her back to our camera. Her maiden name is Plunkett. Megan Plunkett, a volleyball player and basketball player at St. Francis before getting married, and I had a chance to talk to her before the match, and she's really getting used to this team as well, as she's there now in the left side. And I certainly remember when she was especially playing basketball for St. Francis, a great post player, and obviously the daughter of Jim Plunkett, and nice to see. She said she never expected to be coaching, and she will be coaching basketball as well. As St. Francis out of the timeout, now down by 7. Ifani Chukwu chases it down. Free ball for the Lancers. And it's Canty with the block as Dilford decides to go for another dump. And so once again, we come to the subject of closing the door, David Kiefer.
Well, 4 consecutive points for St. Francis, but yeah, we've seen Valley Christian seemingly on the verge of doing that all night and never being able to do it. I don't know if that's Valley Christian's doing or St. Francis.
The Lancers with an ace. I have them at 9 for the match. So Green doing a nice job, Hubbard doing a nice job serving. She's got her team within 5. Off the stack, miscommunication, and Veronica Stone asking her team to settle down, looking toward her head coach.
And this is a 6-point run, and you look at the fact that Valley Christian called a timeout, and they've given 3 points back right out of the timeout.
Hubbard continuing to serve away. Here goes Ifani Chukwu. That's too much. And Coach Kim debating calling another timeout, and he does. So St. Francis, is this the motivation they needed? Is this the spark this team needed now within 3 when it looked like Valley Christian was coasting to a 4-set win?
Well, all of a sudden it's 22-19. How did that happen? It was 22-12 just a few moments ago, and that's we talked about kind of the difficulty for Valley Christian closing out matches, and this is, I think, one of the areas where leadership, if I don't know if there's a void of leadership, but there's a place where somebody needs to, a player, take over and just say, hey, let's get back on track. Let's do the things that we're taught to do and just settle down and play winning volleyball.
Well, I think that, we talk about Veronica Stone obviously having more of a leadership role, but it is great if your setter can be the leader. And Tori Dilfer, as a sophomore, Big Sis has graduated. What a career she had. Co-player of the year with Kirsten Mead by the Mercury News. Kirsten Mead, the West Catholic Athletic League Player of the Year in her own right. It's up to Tori Dilfer, I think, as Ifani Chukwu swings away from the right side. A very psyched up, pumped up St. Francis team on the floor. Stone, dug by Deal. Pushed over. Stone trying to end this. Point. And just tentative play there by Rebecca Roth on the overpass. And Lancers within 2.
And what St. Francis turned back 2 really strong attacks by Veronica Stone and turned it into a point.
Great pass from Lee. Ifani Chukwu, terrific approach. Here comes Deal. Speared, and Stone can't run it down. The comeback kids, the St. Francis Lancers, staring down Valley Christian, 3 points away from victory for what feels like 8 minutes. Lancers with a chance to tie it. Stone. And her determination etched on her face, the daughter of the All-Pro NFL lineman, Ron Stone. Veronica Stone still in the back row.
That ended the streak of 9 consecutive points and 9-point run for St. Francis.
Good. Kudos to Hubbard for serving so well. Dilfer in. 23-21. Valley 3 points away from heading home and doing some homework. And fatigue, perhaps. That is the 13th service error of the match. And Canty back to serve, a chance to tie it. And then Canty goes before Valley was set. Here comes Ifani Chukwu. Match point, Valley Christian.
They needed that. That was huge. And look at the energy level.
In her first match as a high schooler in California, Ifani Chukwu with the serve. St. Francis stares down 1 match point. Still match point, but the Lancers with a chance to tie. They send back their senior, Izzy Knox, to serve. The drama continues at main gym. Match point number 2 for Valley. Problems in serve receive. Stone sends it over, free ball for the Lancers. Deal. Dug by Ifani Chukwu. Nope, we're all tied up at 24-2. Match point saved.
I can't believe that they've caught them after that domination early on in this set by Valley Christian.
New life for the Lancers. Knox deals again. Bruckner in. Match point number 3 for Valley. It's the shot putter with the big blow, and Lee in to serve. She has more than 20 aces on the season coming into this match. Match point number 3 for Valley Christian. Played by Knox. Here comes Canty. And it's Canty with the kill, tying us up at 25. Which team is going to blink first?
Fortunate to get that roll off the net, which really threw the Valley Christian defense off guard.
Gustafson, who served St. Francis to a set 2 win, in to serve now. Here comes Stone. And off the block for the kill. We're at match point number 4 for Valley, and it's Bruckner back to serve.
The magic didn't quite work this time for Gustafson, but Valley Christian has a chance to finally close out the match.
Match point number 4. Deal from the right side. Goes line. Lee with the pass. Stone to finish. She does! Valley Christian, the Warriors. A hard-fought victory over a team that looked as if it might go away, but then rallied for a very entertaining set number 4. Valley Christian 25-23, 23-25, 25-22, 27-25. David, a lot of volleyball played here tonight in this 4-set victory for Valley Christian. Credit both teams, young programs looking, I guess, in rebuilding years for a little bit of magic. Valley having the magic at home tonight.
Yeah, and it was really, I guess, first of all, so impressed by St. Francis and their ability to just fight back every single set. Falling into a hole each time, no matter even falling behind by 10 points and fighting back and making this, just biting and clawing for every single point and making this an incredible match. And then you got to give it to Valley Christian for their hitters. Ronica Stone coming through at the end on match point, 14 kills. The newcomer, Shalom Ifani Chukwu, with a big match as well with 14 kills herself. And I think we see the potential for Valley Christian with these 2 big hitters, with a young, really smart setter like Tori Dilfer, and just a real spark plug with Bruckner, Elena Bruckner, and you could see that they have some real possibilities. And then you can see the same thing for St. Francis down the road with this effort and just this inability to give up.
I think some of the fundamentals need to get better for both teams. But for St. Francis, I must say, too many off-speed shots. They really need to take more authoritative swings as Valley Christian, a 3-1 victory. Valley Christian moves to 14-9 overall, 1-1 in league, as St. Francis moves to 13-6 overall, 1-1 in league. And let's take a look at some of the action here on the floor at Main Gym tonight.
Well, St. Francis, it was mostly the hitting of Bridget Canty with 16 kills. Really carried most of the offense. But for Valley Christian, they had the luxury of having a couple hitters with obviously Ifani Chukwu and Ronica Stone that were really able to kind of provide a more versatile attack for the Warriors. And I think eventually that kind of ended up being the difference. Valley Christian just had too many weapons, including Elena Bruckner, who had a couple really big hits down the stretch, and then match point with Ronica Stone getting the touch and really showing that she is one of the top players in the country.
A 4-set victory for Valley Christian. Again, 25-23, 23-25, 25-22, 27-25. David, your final thoughts?
Yeah, just really impressed with the young effort by the young team at St. Francis and the effort they put in, and also by the newcomer for Valley Christian. I want to see a lot more of her and also the veteran Ronica Stone.
Pleasure working with you. And on behalf of the entire CreaTV sports crew, including our hard-working volunteers and our folks down in the production truck, a big thanks to everyone here at Valley Christian High School for making us feel so very welcome. I'm Kirsten Fairchilds for David Kiefer. So long from Valley Christian in San Jose. The Warriors, a 4-set winner over St. Francis of Mountain View tonight.